Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk about our attitude while we're waiting. I know it's been said, and I've heard this before too, that like while you're waiting on whatever it is that God placed on your heart, the vision, the dream, or whatever it is, that you should praise Him while you wait, and try to have a good attitude while you wait. Because one thing I've learned is like you can always say, okay, you know what, I'm waiting on God for this thing, and you're just waiting, you know, but there's also an importance in how you wait, and the attitude that we have while we're waiting. And I didn't really understand this, but now I do. And the next thing I heard people say, to praise Him while you wait, like have a good attitude, be happy, and say, oh, this is gonna happen and all that. But I've also learned that it's not always easy to do that, right? Because sometimes you do get tired of waiting, you know and I've experienced that, whereby there are times when I feel like, oh, you know what, I can do this, God, I'm gonna wait on you, God, whatever your will is, whenever your time. And you say these things, and there are times I can wait, I can wait, God, 10 years, not 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, it doesn't matter, God, I'm gonna wait. And then there are times when you feel like, God, I don't know how long I can do this, like I felt that way. I felt that way yesterday, and sometimes it kind of feels as if, God, like you're holding on a rope, right? And this rope holding you up. But then after a while, your hands get tired, and you get tired, and you feel like, what, I don't know if I can hold on anymore. And it's like you're almost ready to let go, and even though God says it's gonna come, and you're waiting, after a while it's like, God, I know you said it's gonna come, but when, and you get tired of waiting. But one thing I got, like yesterday, instead of complaining, well, it's good to tell God, I'm tired, God, I don't know, if I can wait anymore, and I need you to help me to wait. And so, right, it's good to tell Him these things, but also not to wait in a way whereby you're like, I'm not sure if God is gonna come true, I'm not sure if God is gonna do this, and you start doubting and start thinking thoughts that are against whatever God has given you or told you, or so, or speaking things that are against it. Instead of that, you know what, God, yeah, let Him know, right? God, I'm tired. I'm getting tired of waiting. I'm tired of this situation. I prefer this or prefer that. Let Him know. Talk it out with Him. Let Him know this is how I feel, right? But at the same time, you're saying, you know what, God, I am getting tired, but God, I believe that what you've told me will come to pass, God, and I believe that it's going to exceed my expectations, and I know it's going to come, and when it comes, it's going to be great, and it's going to be this. And God, I'm thanking you for it. God, you know what the devil wants you to do? He wants you to get discouraged. He wants you to give up, and he wants to tell you, look how long you've been waiting for this, and you know what, look how many things you should have probably do this. And all these thoughts are going to come to your head, making you think that, you know what, you're waiting in vain. But trust me, if God placed something on your heart, He's going to bring it to pass. And I'm believing with you. I'm believing because I'm believing God for some things in my life. And sometimes it feels like, you know what, I don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen now, in next 2 days. It can happen next 2 months. It can happen 10 years from now. It can happen anytime. But one thing I know for sure is that God is going to come true. My doubt is not that God is, whether or not He's going to come true. I know He's going to come true. And sometimes you do tend to wonder, like, yeah, God, you said it's going to happen, but when? But I've learned to encourage myself and not to entertain thoughts that are going to discourage me and cause me to feel down, I tell myself, like, I speak and I say, you know what, God is going to do this, and God is going to do that, and it's going to exceed my expectation. And I get excited, for whatever I'm waiting on. It actually gets me excited, because it's like I'm excited to see, like, wow, God is going to do this for me, and God is going to do that for me, and it's going to be awesome. And I get excited, and I'm like, wow, I can't wait to see what God is going to do. And it's like I tell myself, even though that I'm expecting, it to be great, it's going to be even better than what I expected. It's going to exceed my expectations. And I tell myself these things, and this encourages me. And even like last night when I was starting to feel a bit, like, God, when, like when, I started to say, you know what, God, and I started speaking it and speaking against whatever feelings that were coming over me that were causing me to feel as if, is this thing really going to happen? I started to say, you know what, God, I know you're going to come through for me. I know you're going to work this thing out. And I speak it and I speak it and I speak it. And it's almost as if I'm, let's say there's this person in front of me that is trying to bring me down, right? And then I start firing back shots, and it was almost as if I was, fighting the doubt with my words, right? And I felt so much better. My spirit felt lifted, and I asked him for strength to keep me through this season while he has me waiting. And I told him that I believe that, you know what, this season that he has me in, where he has me, even though it might not be the things that I prefer it to be, I'll be honest with God. I tell God, you know what, this is what I wanted, this is not what it is, but God, I believe that you have me here for a reason, and this preparation that I'm having here and this growth. Because one thing I really don't want to happen is for me to go to my next season not prepared. Meaning that there's things in this season that I'm in right now that is preparing me for something to come next. And it would be a waste if I should just be in this season waiting and not growing and not developing. And then when I get to the next season, there's something for me to deal with that I should have grown and developed from the season before that I didn't, because I was so focused on the season that was in front of me, you know. And I ask God to help me to learn what I need to learn to develop as I should, you know, that this season is not wasted, and also to show me the good times in this season, the blessings in this season. Because I believe, yes, there are things that you're waiting on and you say, oh, this is going to be nice and that's going to be nice or whatever, but I also believe that God also gives us blessings in the season that we're in, even if it's a season of foundation, meaning that you go through trials, you're building this, you're building that. I believe there's still moments in it that we can rejoice in. So I ask him to show me, because sometimes they're right there but we just don't see them, you know, or we're looking for something, you know, big and glamorous, when God is saying, you know what, it's not big or glamorous, it's just simple, but it's right there, you know, and you're just not seeing it because it's not what you're looking for. It's like it's there but you're looking everywhere else, you know. So I ask him to show me, you know, help me to enjoy this season, because I know when this season is gone, I'm not going to get it back. And I want to be able to say that each and every season of my life, I would have lived it to the fullest, I would have enjoyed it to the fullest, you know. So I ask God, I ask him to show me, to help me, you know, because I know it's not like, you know, oh, just wait on God and, you know, it's that simple. It's not. You're going to have times when you're going to want to give up. You're going to have times when you feel like, you know what, this feels like too much, maybe this is not going to happen or so. And God is going to teach you stuff. He's going to show you stuff. There are going to be times when you're going to want to say, God, I don't know if I can do this, you know, I don't know. And the thing is, it's good to be honest with God and not to try to pretend as if you have it all together. You never waver, you always had faith in you, this, you never get tired, you know. Like, let him know, God, I'm getting tired, but I pray that you give me the strength that I need in order to keep going. I don't want to give up, God. And one thing I want is everything that God has in store for me. And I want to become everything that God created me to be. And I've learned and I've understand that, you know what, the road to that is not going to be a smooth road. There are going to be times when I'm going to have challenges. And there are times when I'm going to have to go through things that I don't want to go through. But I know that I may need to go through it because I need to grow in an area. And I ask God to help me to go through it, because I know it's going to be tough for me. I might gotta crawl my way to the finish line. But nevertheless, God help me to get there, you know. And it's not, I know some people think that, you know, you could do it, but I can't do it, and this is all perfect. No, let God know. Sometimes you might fall on 10 times before you actually, you know, learn whatever you need to learn or reach where you need to reach, you know. But it doesn't matter, as long as you don't give up and you keep going. Note to yourself, there's progress. And that's all you need to make. And don't compare. There's one thing I'm learning to do now, is not compare my journey to somebody else and think, you know, this is what you moping over, or this is what you're crying out for, and look at this person, look at that person. Not to come, this is my journey, that's their journey, that's what God have them to go through, and this is what God have me to go through. And this is painful for me, and I accept that this is painful for me. Somebody else might have gone through it, and to them it might have been a breeze, and they, you know, never struggle with it as I do. But I'm struggling with this, and I need God to help me with this. And don't play myself down or put myself down because this is what I'm struggling with and this person didn't struggle with this. No, this is my journey, this is painful for me. God help me, you know, and not compare myself and think, you know, I'm less of because they didn't struggle with this, but I'm struggling with this. Or look at somebody else and think that they're less of because I never struggled with that, but they're struggling with it. Our journeys are different, and I think if we accept that, we will live a much more happier, free life. Because then we stop comparing ourselves, we stop feeling bad for something that we mess up in, and to accept the fact that I am going to mess up, but God is there for me. Anyway, I felt like I did a little of everything, but I did pray and ask the Holy Spirit to guide me. So whatever I said was needed. But anyway, I just want us to know that, you know what? While you're waiting on God, it's okay to let him know that you're tired. But also thank him for what's to come, and speak these things and get excited about, you know, okay, wow, this is going to be this, and this is going to be great, and this is going to be this. I'm really excited to see what God is going to do. I'm so excited because I know in his word, Isaiah chapter 55, verse 7 and 8, I think it is, or 8 and 9, talks about how, you know, God's ways and his thoughts are higher than ours, you know, and it's not the same as ours. It's like we might be thinking, oh, this would be great, and God is like, really, I had this in mind, you know. So it's like, okay, God, forget about what I wanted, you know, I want what you have for me. But then I also understand that sometimes in order to get there, I'm going to have to go through some pain. There are going to be times when I'm going to want to give up. But at the end, I know without a doubt that it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it. Anyway, I hope that this video was encouraging to you. And if it was, feel free to share it with somebody else, to like this video, to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. And also too, feel free to comment about maybe some testimony that you have, or maybe some encouraging word, because we can learn from each other. As I said in my video before, I can learn from you, you can learn from me, you know. And this is a community where we all can share, and feel free to share and to learn from each other, you know, and grow. It's like I find food and I bring it and say, hey, would you like to have some? And then you might find something, I'll say, oh, thank you, and I find this, you know, and we share, and you know, we learn from each other, so we all can grow. Anyway, thank you for watching my video, and see you in my next video. Bye.